Welcome back, everybody, to the newest episode of the Bacon Decker podcast. Tyler, what'd you have going on this week?
This week's been actually. I'm really just happy that we're 2 weeks in a row again.
Yeah, right.
So it's we actually got time to sit down the week after our technical difficulties episode. But hopefully, you guys obviously, if you're watching the video platform, you guys are seeing a new camera that we're using instead of the GoPro. So it did not salvage, obviously, the video file from the last video. It didn't salvage all of it. It only salvaged the first 17-minute part of it, and the other one, GoPro cuts them in 17-minute parts. So the half of the video got cut or deleted or whatever. So we got a new camera. We're going to try this out. Hopefully everything works good for you guys. I don't know how long the battery lasts on this one. It's a new battery, or it's a new camera altogether as far as we're testing the limits of a hour-long segment, roughly. Yeah. So if there's like a cut, battery dies, we've got other batteries though, but it won't corrupt it like the GoPros do. And I think the batteries are just shot on the GoPro.
Mm-hmm. You have had them for a while.
So. Yeah. I mean, it's an old camera as far as like year-wise. I've had the two batteries for sure 4 years, roughly. Yeah. I think so. I think they're just shot. So we're gonna clean the slate, use a new camera, see how it goes. Let us know if you guys are enjoying the new camera. And then as far as me personally, I've really just been working week to week. This week has been a rough week as far as weather. I mean, with UPS as well. Like the hurricane that's hitting or has hit is we're getting kind of the aftermath or whatever, I guess. But it's just coming absolute monsoon yesterday on Friday. So we're actually filming this the morning of today's upload. So we're actually like right up to speed.
Yeah.
Which is not normally where we're usually at. It's more like we're kind of figuring out what you guys remember from last week. But this week it's going up tonight. So yesterday coming absolute monsoon. The clouds were wicked that were rolling in, and like the stoplights were turning sideways and stuff, blowing through the wind. I was like, this is about to be bad. And then it really only rained for roughly 30 minutes with bad weather, and then the rest was just
light drizzle. I was driving yesterday. I was, making a left onto the road, and of course I drive with the doors open. It's hot out, so any breeze I can get, I try to get in there. Well, all of a sudden it just started raining, and the wind was blowing real hard, and so it was blowing right through the doorway and getting me all soaking wet. I was so mad, dude. Oh, man. And then I think the worst part about the job probably is having to get out in weather like that.
Yeah.
Like, because from the time that you're out of the truck to walk into the door, whether it's going into a business or, coming to the door of a residence to release a package, I mean, there's just no forgiveness.
Right. And,
of course, it just so happens that during the time when it's going to be raining a lot, they don't have a jacket to provide me. That's just my luck. So I'm waiting on a jacket on back order so I don't get a rain jacket, so I'm just getting soaked.
I can imagine like during the winter, like you're gonna have to like watch where you step to, so like things that are frozen over.
Yeah, so don't slip.
Yeah, that would be my biggest thing. I hate falling. There's been a couple times when, I'm a big guy, so as soon as I start to fall, I panic because I know it's gonna hurt. It just jars me. So I could not stand that. As far as like at Pepsi or even at Clark, I've always wore like the non-slip shoes, like really rubberized bottoms, just because I don't chance it, especially when you go in the coolers. It's got condensation on the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really careful. And that's like my biggest thing is if I fall, my whole day is just ruined. Like
you're just mad.
Yeah, ready to go home.
Yeah. No, my supervisors, they stress like, hey, make sure you got 3 points of contact because especially like if you're going onto that truck or coming off of it and those steps are even a little wet, and in the wintertime, stuff freezes over like on the sidewalk or something, you're going down. You're going down hard, so they stress the importance of that because
they issued
because we move quick,
Yeah. They texted us yesterday mornings like, hey, get done by 2:30. Like it's supposed to be here this afternoon. I'm like, well, work doesn't normally do this. Like we've had rain before, but it was supposed to be really bad. So when I seen it coming in and the way it was acting, I was like, man, this is going to suck. I'm ready to get home. And I would have been home if I hadn't volunteered to help another driver get home as well. Yeah. So as I'm driving to the second driver is when I seen on Snapchat, I took a picture of the clouds and I was driving directly into it. I was like, this sucks. Like,
you
should have just went home.
I was I'm grateful that, I mean, even though I ended up still being out all day, but I saw the effort that was trying to be made. A couple of the guys that are like, you know, about to retire, they're getting up towards retirement, but, you know, they're helping train me. They stopped by and were like, hey, are you, you know, doing all right? Because, of course, yesterday I had a whole extra bunch of packages that I had to deliver before 10:30. And they were like, hey, how are you doing on time? And I was like, well, I'm really behind.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, well, give us some stops in like a residential area so you don't have to go over there. And
that's awesome.
Because of the weather. I think, you know, they didn't say why they were doing it, but I think it was because of the weather. And it was a Friday too, so.
Which I heard yesterday there was a tornado in Russellville, actually.
Really?
Yeah, there was a tornado. It was going to touch down, or it was looking like it was going to touch down. I don't know if it ever did, but Gabby called me. That's where I was at, because I mean we go everywhere here in like South Central Kentucky. So we, you know, she never knows where I'm at. I was like, no, I'm in Bowling Green. Yeah, I mean I'm Cave City, Glasgow, Scottsville. I mean I'm all directions of Bowling Green I could be. So she was just calling to check. She's like, yeah, it looks like it's about to touch down in Russellville. It's like not in Russellville.
Thank God.
I'm thinking, great, if that's what it's going to do there, it's probably going to be really bad here too. So, but it actually did. It turned out to be just. I mean, it's like I jumped out of a pool yesterday when we got to that stop, because we were unloading the truck and it's kind of just casually raining, and then once he dropped it on the semi tailgate and we started to push it into the store, I mean it just opened the floodgates and we got soaked. I mean we got into the middle of where the gas station pumps were at the gas station and just kind of stood there for a second, and then it just wasn't stopping, so we're like, we got to go, because he had 2 more stops after that, so we're trying to get done on time, because I mean to our knowledge, they said it was supposed to rain like a lot, and you said today it's actually supposed to rain today.
I heard that it's supposed to come in pretty bad today.
So,
but it could be different. You know, things change in the weather all the time. I mean, we live in Kentucky. For sake.
Yeah. It's like I said, yesterday was supposed to be the bad day, and then it turned out not to be too bad. So maybe we'll cut a break again.
I think it has a lot to do with the hill. Nobody's ever confirmed that.
Yeah.
But I really do think, you know, tornadoes miss us a lot of the time.
Seems just to split.
Snowstorms just, you know, go right around. I think it's the hill.
Yeah. I think it helps. That's why we kind of get like on the outskirts of things. Like we'll get some heavy snow, but everybody's like, yeah, well, at least you're not so-and-so, because they got like a couple inches more.
Yeah.
It seems like we kind of get the edges of the storms. I'm no meteorologist or anything.
Yeah,
but
I'm no expert. But yeah, no, I think it wasn't as bad as it could have been yesterday, because let me tell you,
a lot of places got hit.
Well, when that rain came in, you know, I was like, dude, is the rest of my day about to be like this?
Yeah.
You know, so in the Marine Corps, of course, we call it going internal, right? But from just always being in the rain, you know, in the military, you know, Mount Fuji, just always being in the rain and just wet and cold and just upset, you know.
Rain pisses you off. Anytime it's rain, you're like, oh man, it's rain. Like, that's like your pet peeve as far as weather goes.
I don't know why, but I hate the rain. And it's probably just from being overexposed to it, and just soaking wet and not being able to do anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I always say, once your socks get wet, your day's over. Yeah. Like, you're mad. And so yesterday when it started raining like that, I was like, man, I'm not about to have a whole afternoon like this and, you know, be okay.
It finally let up, though. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
As far as
like,
on our side of things.
I was like, you're watching out for me.
We walked into the cooler, and we were actually steaming from the rain. Just like as soon as we walked in the walk-in cooler, it's like 36 degrees in there or something like that. So we went from wet to freezing pretty much. But you could see the steam rolling all off of us as it was. Both the driver and I were wet, and the other guy that actually come to help too. There was 3 of us. He's like, "You guys are steaming." Like, I was like, "Yeah." I don't feel like I'm steaming though. It's freezing cold, because you go from, I mean, it was 86, 87 degrees yesterday with the rain here, and then you go into a 36 degree cooler, and you're trying to work. Every time you bend over, the wet shirt just touches your back, and it's like, oh, yeah.
No, I got you, man. Dude, I hate it.
Other than work, though, honestly, we're just prepping for the wedding. You know, it's getting closer and closer, October 24th. So, as crunch time goes, it's just more or less trying to figure out, make sure we got everything taken care of for the wedding, as it's really here. Like, there's no doubt in my mind we'll get married October 24th, even though the world is still not in the best shape.
Yeah.
We will have our wedding no matter what. At this point, I think we have like 100 invitations. So even if we invite 100 groups of people, friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see all of them coming, as far as the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't, whoever gets to come, great. Who doesn't? It's not about who shows up. It's about, her and I, getting married. So as long as the wedding party's there and everything goes smoothly on that part, which we did order. We hired a videographer.
Yeah.
So we should have a video version of the wedding. I don't know how cutthroat it is, or like very like short and sweet, or if it's like he films everything. I don't know as far as his work goes. She hired him, so it's gonna be like one of those. We'll see how it goes. But if it's short and sweet, I think I might put it up on the channel just to kind of let you guys see as well.
Well, you could always edit it too.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if it's very long, then I might edit it just to put in the parts I want everybody to see, the world to see, and then the rest of it just be our version of it. So but like I said, I don't know how much he'll be able to film all together.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. It just sucks, like everybody's got to wear a mask. They don't have to, but a lot of people are going to. So like as far as on video, everyone's gonna be like, well, this wedding must have been in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've caught yourself watching movies now. Like there's big crowds of people in movies, and they're not social distancing. It's like it's before it happened. It's like when they filmed these movies, this wasn't a thing. So I think it'd be hilarious to see like the movies of this year that come out, if people wear a mask or something, kind of just to get that vibe, like in 2020. And if they make a movie based out of 2020 from here going out as a past movie,
are they still making movies?
Yeah, but they're being very slow going. I think Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, there's been like snippets of him training for it and like doing stunts and whatnot. So a lot of production has picked back up, which is crazy to me. It's like things can go back to somewhat normal, but then like they're being very strict on some things. School started back this week, so you've got a lot of people wanting kids to go back to school, some kids not going back to school.
Well, did you hear the first day of school, no joke, there was a confirmed COVID case at...
Which you're going to get cases, though. That's the thing. You're going to...
Well, like, he tested positive for the virus, though. So it's like, man, the thing is like, that means that you had your kid tested for it, but he showed up to school on the first day anyway.
Yeah, I should have waited for the results at least.
Yeah. But,
But you got some people, Gabby and I work. If we had a kid, I don't know how we would stay at home and do virtual schooling. Some parents don't have a choice to send their kid to school because they have to work for a living too. So it's not like they can just, I'll stay home with my kid and do these online classes with them while I just don't get a paycheck. My work has been very helpful with a lot of the guys that have kids, and they like try to get them off early to go to things for their schooling, or how things are going to work, because a lot of our drivers have kids, so it's just a matter of they've got to still show up for work too. So I think a lot of them did send their kids to school. If not, their wives stayed home with them. And it's just, everybody's story is different. So I personally would like to go back to school, I think, compared to doing virtual learning 2 days a week, because I just wouldn't be able to connect with the curriculum.
Well, I wouldn't pay attention. I'll tell you right now, like the stuff we did, while I was in college, once we switched over to the we're not showing up to class thing, it was just like, all right, well, I'll do my homework real quick and then that's it.
You're out of routine.
Yeah.
You don't have that vibe of I'm in school. You have that vibe of I'm at home.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, you got kids with all their electronic devices and all their toys right there at hand. If they're in their living room and they look over and they've got their Xbox there, they'll be like, man, I really want to get this done and play this new game that came out this year. It's like they're going to be distracted, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. It's crazy to me. Like, looking back, I missed 55 days of my senior year. I did not want to go to school just because I wanted to go ahead and start working and, like, get out in the world.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as now I look back, I'm glad I went to school instead of my brother. He actually graduated early and didn't go to school for, like, senior. I'm glad looking back that I did finish it out. No, I wasn't there all the time, but I'm glad I got the experiences of going through high school just to know. Like, I just feel like it's good for the kids to have that interaction with other kids to get into adulthood.
Yeah.
Because it's weird how they treat you from year to year. Freshman year, it's like, you really need to do good in school, join these courses. By senior, they're like, we're preparing you to get out in the real world. Like, none of this mattered. It seems like at the point.
All right. Wipe all these school rules out of the, that's out the window now. You got to understand,
as a senior, they treated us as adults pretty much. Other than, we had rules, but like when we went into a classroom, there was like we had phones out and stuff, and they were just like, well, get your phones out real quick and like check this website or whatever. Mm-hmm. Compared to as a freshman, I remember if we pulled our phone out in certain classes, we got to take it up. So it's like they switched to where you're like a young adult almost, right, when you're getting out of high school, which is nice.
Well, and you just felt the whole mood change too, because you were ending.
Well, essentially, junior year is when it matters. Like, that's you take your ACT. Like, and so senior year is just like figure out where you're getting out of here after this. Like, are you going to college? Are you going to work? What are you making your plans? I remember my guidance counselor. She was trying to get me to sign up for colleges because I had a good enough score that I could have went to college somewhere, but I just didn't want to. I was like, there's no way on God's green earth that I'm going to pay to go to school. I want out of here. Like, I don't know what part of this y'all don't understand, but I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done. Yeah. So, I did. I started working as soon as I turned 18. I was still in school. Mm-hmm. And then I went straight to work right after full time. I couldn't stand it. I wanted to make money. Money doesn't make me happy, but it gives me a sense of purpose of what I'm doing. Yeah. So that's just. Well,
you just wanted to get out and do something. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't. And school really isn't for everybody, and it's not honestly for most people. School is not something that's fun, right? Like, I can tell you right now, like, I'm fantastic at school. I can do school and be great at it. There's nothing easier to me than sitting in a classroom, listening to some person talk, and then making notes, and then taking a multiple choice test or something.
I think that was the camera cutting out. So it only records in snippets. All right, keep going. It's good. I'll fix it real quick.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I just filmed. I'll have to figure out why. So now it's recording again. So, just a quick snippet, but it's okay. Like I said, we'll test this camera out and we'll figure out the kinks. That's the only way we're going to learn. You know, we've got to progress. So, but yeah, like you said, some people are good.
Yeah, but so with the... Yeah, some people are bad at school, though, and that's fine, because school's set up to be, you know, in a regulated, orderly system, and everything's standardized, and you have to follow these rules and all that stuff like that. And some people don't work like that, you know. Like, for you, for example, you're more creative-minded than I am, and I think that's where it gets a lot of people. Yeah. People who are more expressive and artistic and creative, they don't function as well with the whole...
You have this class, system, this class. You have lunch, you have break, and then like it's really cut into sections. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that. You know, there were some classes I liked and some classes I didn't. So when I went to those that I couldn't stand, it made me not want to go even to the. You know, I'd leave that one. I'm like, God, I hated that class, and I had to go to this one I'm supposed to enjoy, but I'm still thinking about
how much you did not.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. As far as like, I mean, I wish I'd taken different classes in high school. I wish I'd taken more art classes as far as just creativity wise. Wish I'd taken the tech school and done the tech class instead of the construction class, just because I feel like I obviously now with YouTube and everything, this is kind of like where I'm at. So,
what I think I missed out on in high school was I didn't participate enough. So I didn't do anything in high school, like extracurricular wise, and I think that's what really I should have delved into more. But at the same time, like, I enjoyed my personal time. Like, as soon as I was done with school, I was happy to be out of there. Because then I got to do what I wanted, you know? Whether that was play video games or go outside and...
Or just get a break.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember in our fall breaks and spring breaks, both of us were kind of just like, I just don't feel like doing anything today. So we would play a little bit of Xbox, but then, like, one of us would usually be... like, hey, I'm just going to hop off here. I'm just going to go outside or something. It was like a relaxing. And now I get it from a work standpoint. When you get that vacation week, everybody's like, well, what are you going to do on your vacation? I'm like, man, I'm just not going to work. All right. Yeah. Like, I don't want to do anything this week. And so growing up, I always thought people that sat on the beach were boring. I was like, why do they just want to sit on the beach? Why don't they want to do something? But now I could totally see myself getting off of work, going for a vacation for a week, and sitting on the beach doing absolutely nothing, just listening to the waves crash, drinking a couple beers and calling it a day. So I see it now from that standpoint. But before I was like, no, why don't you want to spend that time doing something? You don't have to do anything this week. Exactly. You don't have to do anything this week.
So I'm still not a big beach fan. I will say that. But when I get my off time, I legitimately like to just kind of relax. And if I feel like doing something, I'll go do something.
Right.
And I think Krista doesn't like that. You know, she likes to either have something going on all the time.
Some people are better busy. You know? Some people like the rush. I mean, it's kind of like with the YouTube thing. I enjoy being crunched for time because it makes me think more and work faster and like work more efficiently back to back compared to if I had that time off. I'm really going to use that time for just relaxing, and then I don't get as creative with like what I'm doing at the time. Yeah. So I get from both sides, like people take it easy. Some people crunch their time to stay busy. Some people it's better. Like everybody's different, you know.
I'd say my favorite thing to do in off time is eat.
Eat.
Dude, I love, especially going out.
You think that was my thing, but
dude, I love to go out to eat. Like, that's like got to be my favorite thing. I don't know why.
I think it's a lot to do with Bowling Green too. It's like that's
the thing to do around here.
He's like, well, what do y'all want to do? Well, we could go grab lunch or dinner this week.
I mean, there's an endless amount of restaurants to choose from. So
I enjoy going out. We did go last week Sunday. Me and Gabby had off together. We went to Cheney's Dairy Barn. It was her first time ever going there. She's not from the area,
right?
So she tried the ice cream, and we actually got some food there too, which I've never had food from there, and it's really good food.
Yeah.
It's just like relaxed back there, back there where we were eating. It was just like kind of secluded or whatever. But she had never been. She loved it. We grabbed a magnet. It's like a little Cheney's Dairy Barn milk gallon, like gallon milk. Magnet, because we collect magnets from anywhere we go that is magnet worthy. If they've got magnets, we get one. So it's just like things that, and they're on the side of the fridge. So we've got some from Mexico, some from when we went to New Orleans, I went to Chicago. Anything that has a magnet, we've got one. But then we went to Fleeland. She'd never been to Fleeland either.
Jeez.
So I remember Fleeland being awesome as a kid. As a kid, they have a bunch of knives, they have like toys and action figures, and they have like a bunch of kid stuff for sale. Because it's really just people trying to get rid of their junk more than anything, or they've managed to pick up a bunch of stuff cheap. But there are some cool things. She got some hand soap. It's like the mineral soap or whatever. It's like they're like body wash soaps and stuff, but there's also some for your hair. It's like different kind of soaps. But she bought a bunch of soap that's like specific reasons or whatever. Like the smells are supposed to like...
Oh, like the essential oil type stuff in there?
Yeah. So she got some of that, and then I got a couple pops that I've been looking for a while. So it was cool to see. I didn't know they had like a pop stand in there. There's two of them there.
I've been there since I was a kid.
Yeah, so I hadn't either. So we're walking down through the first row, and she was kind of looking around, and I'm looking at her like, this is just a bunch of junk. Like, why did I think this is like a good place to come?
Dude, I never liked going to Fleeland because it always smelled like funnel cakes.
It was rough.
But like, not just funnel cakes, but fairs don't smell good, okay? And it smells like a fair, okay? Because it's a mixture of not just funnel cakes, but of other weird old.
The building's old.
Dank smelling stuff, you know.
The building is super old. I don't know how old the building is, honestly, as far as...
Like, I don't even know if it's up to code.
Probably not. But they have we just went to the inside part because I told her driving there, I said, we are not going to the outdoor market area. She's like, okay. I was like, they sell animals there. I said, we're not leaving with an animal. I don't care what we're doing. We're not going down there because they sell dogs, cats. You know, they sell animals down there. Which we were actually walking inside and they had these things called dagoos or dagoos. It's like 4-letter word. It looks like a giant hamster. And they actually get to the size of a guinea pig. Like they're big, but they like stand on their back legs or whatever a lot. So it's pretty cool. I think they're called dagoos or dagoos. I can't remember. The lady told us, and it was like $50 a piece. I was like, God, I'm not paying that much for a rodent.
Yeah, that's a rat, man.
Yeah. Well, they looked more like a hamster, and I had hamsters growing up. So a lot of people are like, there's no way I could have hamsters. My hamster his name was Teddy. I could hold him. I was little. Like, I don't know how old I was. I could hold him in my hand, and I could pet him on the back of his head, and he'd fall asleep in my hand. Like, he would rest there in my hands. I wouldn't have to hold him like he was going to run off or nothing. I'd just pet him, and I put him back in his pen, and he was fine. So, like, we had the little hamster balls and stuff you could put him in and run around. So, well, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I've, honestly, as far as domestic animals, I've had cats, dogs, fish, hamsters. We even had a snake one year.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, our stepbrothers had a snake, so it wasn't like really our choice. I was like, all you do is feed it. Like, it's kind of sadistic because they're like, oh, y'all want to watch them eat? And we're like, eat another animal? No, I'm good. It's not going to get me.
We're going to give them a rat.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you get these little white mice, and one got loose in the car on the way home. And I'm not a big, like, when they're loose, I don't want it just running around. Like, I could hold my hamster fine. But if I know there's a mouse in the room, I'm like, where's he at? Like,
yeah.
So on the way, driving back home, we looked forever in that car and could not find it. All of a sudden, midway home, it runs right in my middle between the feet. I grab him, like with the box that we had waiting to find him, and we put him in the box. And I mean, obviously, he probably got eaten. We took him back to the house, and I was like, I should have just thrown him out the window and gave him a chance. But yeah, I mean, that was the only thing with a snake you could really do is just to watch them eat.
Yeah. Or shed their skin.
Yeah. Or, I mean, some people hold their snakes like the bigger snakes, but he was not a big snake. It was just, I want to say a boa or something. It was little at the time we had it. And I was just like, I don't want to hold this thing that could potentially bite me when it gets pissed off. You know, it has a mind of its own. It's not like you can read
even if
the
it
animal.
doesn't have fangs or venom or anything like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking, it's still like, they can still mess you up, dude.
Yeah.
Especially like boa constrictors.
Mm-hmm.
They still have some sharp teeth, even though they don't have any venom. Like,
but I think as bad as exotic as we got, I almost got a sugar glider. I thought they were really cool. How they can just like.
They're just small though.
Mm-hmm. That's what we thought they were at Fleetland. I thought, like, could you imagine just walk through your house all of a sudden, just something flying out of the ceiling? I was like, what? God.
I've had mainly dogs my whole life. A couple cats. I had a hamster as a kid.
What was the dog you had at your house growing up?
Which one?
What was his name?
The one when we lived in Woodburn?
Yeah.
Grayson.
Whatever happened to Grayson?
He moved with my aunt and my uncle
Gotcha.
for a while, and then he lives with, I think, my cousin now or something. But
see, when you left, I never even thought about, you don't think about their animals or whatever, but, obviously your family's gone through some changes. So as far as, I was like, man, I just now thought about it, like, where's Grayson?
Well, they gave Grayson to my aunt and my uncle probably a year into me being gone. Mm-hmm. They were just like, of course, we had to keep him chained up after a while because the neighbors got tired of him running across.
I remember when we play airsoft, all of a sudden we'd hear him, we're like, what is that sound? And all of a sudden he'd run out the woods.
He's just walking through the woods.
Yeah, it'd be like dead silent. We're waiting for somebody to walk through there. All of a sudden we're like, oh, there's one of them. And then you just see the dog, like, it's just Grayson.
Yeah. Gosh.
He never got hit at any point. Like, we never,
Yeah.
We just knew that he was out there somewhere. So... But he went with us almost every time, at least to the small woods that we played in those couple of times.
Well, it was such a shame that we had to chain him up, because
he was a good dog.
For the most part, like he'd just wander around the neighborhood, go see people. He never barked at anybody.
No, I don't remember him barking at all. As far as
and if he did bark, it was because he was excited, not that he was like guarding any territory.
Yeah.
He was like.
People are weird about dogs now, though. They're not, Which Gabby got attacked by a dog when she was little.
I did too.
That her scar on her face is from a dog latching onto her face and ripping her face. Mm-hmm. So but the dog was in the middle of that sensual moment between dog and dog. So she interrupted, and he thought she was trying to interfere, and that's why he snapped. They put it down. So if it was my kid, obviously I would be more hesitant to just let my kid wander the house because it's an animal. You don't know if he's going to snap by choice. Or what if my kid goes up and pulls his ear not knowing that it's going to get mad?
Yeah.
So, I get it from both standpoints. But, yeah, it does suck for dogs like Grayson that he wouldn't hurt nobody. There's just some dogs don't have that mentality.
Well, they're just so weird. Really friendly dog. He's just a big baby.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. That was what was so funny about him. But, he killed that chicken. That's one thing that got him in trouble. Because one thing that was really weird is he would kill animals.
Yeah.
Like, if he could catch a rabbit, he'd kill the rabbit.
Right.
And then he'd bring it home.
This is my trophy.
But, he killed a neighbor's chicken, and that's what caused him to get locked up. And, we couldn't let him run around anymore. Mm-hmm. So... Eventually, that kind of was like, all right, well, we just feel bad because he's just sitting out here on this leash, we can't let him run around or anything. So, we, my parents decided to give him to my aunt and my uncle, which they had a little bit more area where he could run around.
Gotcha.
So, no, from what I know, he's still healthy and he's doing fine.
Yeah, because he was still pretty much a pup when y'all had him, right?
Like, yeah, he was young. School. We got him when he was under a year old, and I mean, let's see, I don't remember how young I was.
I just refuse to get an animal now because I have the fear of not being home enough for him. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people think that a dog, you can just put him in the backyard and it'd be fine. Like me, and on our road, we can't because, I mean, he's going to get killed or it's going to get killed. There's no way. Like, if they walk on the road here, we live, they're dead. They're going to get hit at 55 miles an hour and be done. Yeah. And, I mean, there's an animal on the road almost every week as far as a cat or dog. So I just can't let him outside. So it's my responsibility, I feel like, to be home enough for this animal and take care of it because I don't want it to just sit in a pen. I mean, you can train them to be in the house by themselves, but they still get lonely. You know, they still, you know, if you're not home enough for them, it shouldn't be like a dog just chills at the house by itself, you know. So that's my only fear to even have an animal anymore. If I don't have the time for it, I don't feel like I should have one just because it shouldn't be that way. Like I should spend time with it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, right now between everything going on, just animals not the choice for us. Yeah. So, but I think it's about time for the weird fact of the week.
Weird fact of the week?
I think so.
All right, let's see what we got. All right, so did you know that the brain is actually the fattiest organ of the body?
I think I remember saying somebody saying that, like it's just fat tissue.
Yeah, it's mainly fatty tissue, yeah. At least what comprises it. Of course, there's all the nerves and stuff like that in there too.
The important stuff.
But yeah, it's it got about 60% fat. So that's, I mean, that's crazy.
I guess it's I don't know why when I think of brains, I think of the Egyptians. Like in high school, they taught us they would take the brain out through the nose. Yeah. So I guess that's how it would it's just fatty tissue. So it would just be that simple.
What do they call it? Is it a it's not a lobotomy, is it?
I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you.
But yeah, they stick that little needle up your nose or something. And
I don't know what they call that, you know, in bombings to get rid of the fluids and stuff in your body. But I don't know about the brain. I guess they take it out too. I don't know. I never thought about that.
But why would you take it out of the nose? I mean, if the person's dead, you just know?
Well, they you know, the Egyptians and stuff, they were almost rituals as far as like when they put them in the, you know, mummified them and whatnot. So
I guess they didn't want to damage the skull, maybe.
I don't know what they did with the brains, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it.
Well, I think they put all the organs in jars and
put them in there with them.
Yeah.
So instead of putting them in there to decompose with the body, we're just going to keep them to stick around longer than the body. I don't know. Maybe it means
that is weird.
I guess I'd have to look it up. Maybe they thought that would preserve the body longer or something. Who knows? But yeah.
Or preserve the organs, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Which are you an organ donor?
I am. I used to not be.
I am. I feel like if I can't use it, I'm dead. You know. I don't have any kind of like ritualistic feelings about my body. Like if I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm not gonna know.
Well, my original reasoning, right, was like, well, I want to be buried with all my organs. I was like, I don't want to just like be missing something, you know. But then, you know, of course, I found out they take the organs out of your body anyway. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, yeah, somebody else can have them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing is just if I could help somebody, or there's been stories of people like their multiple body parts saved people. So. Yeah, I mean, if I'm dead and gone, at least somebody else could use something. My aunt had a heart transplant, so as far as like, I guess it kind of hits home as far as like, if somebody needed something, I would want to help somebody else, not go through what I'm going through if I lost somebody, like if their body parts help somebody. I mean, hell, they could take an arm if they wanted to, if that meant they could.
You just cut it off right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely don't think my lungs would do anybody too good.
My liver's probably shot.
But yeah, they can. My liver's probably all right. I didn't do too much drinking. But
I did enough to. I used to not have to go to the bathroom, but like once a day or so. Now it's like every hour or so. Like as soon as we get done with the podcast, the first thing I do is like, all right, wait, I gotta go pee real quick. He'll close the computer down and everything for the recording, and I run upstairs and go pee. I think a lot of it's the drink that I'm drinking too. I usually don't finish the podcast with a drink. It's already gone by the time. I don't know. It's like my in between motion. Yeah. But yeah, by the time as soon as we turn that off camera switch on,
it's like all right.
It's my body's like all right, now he can pee. Like right now I don't have to, but as soon as I turn that camera, I'm like, ooh, I gotta go.
Dude, I'll tell you what's a struggle. All right. Being in those package cars delivering packages and having to use the restroom.
Yeah.
And the more I think of it, the more I'm like, I'm lucky because I have an in-town route, so there's plenty of places for me to stop and go pee. Like gas stations. If I'm in a business that's delivering, I can ask to use a restroom or whatever. But these guys that go out into the country,
I'm sure they know where to though. Yeah. They're like, if I don't go here, I don't have any stops from here to here to here with any kind of like
bathroom
place to go.
That's so nuts though. I think about that and I'm like, dude, could you imagine? Because first of all, it gets hot in there. All right. Yeah. We have like a fiberglass ceiling roof.
Yeah.
So the sun just beams right through that. You get toasty, especially when you get in the back of the truck. It's like an oven in there.
Yeah, semi's the same way.
And man, as soon as I step foot back there, I mean, sweat just immediately starts beating on my skin. But you're pounding waters all day long, so I mean, you gotta pee.
Yeah.
But also, I notice even if I'm pounding waters all day, but I've been sweating, I don't have to pee.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what's nuts.
I usually don't have to unless I drink certain drinks during work. Because the way it works for us is as soon as you walk in that cold cooler, something does it to all the drivers. They'll all be like, "Oh, cooler got you, didn't it?" It's like that's just something to do with the cold air.
Maybe
it changes your body, and you're like, "Wow, I gotta pee all of a sudden." So
so what I've heard, right, is when you pee, it kind of because your body's either focused on keeping that liquid warm or something, like a body temp or something, so it's using extra blood down there.
Right.
So if you ever notice when you go pee and you shiver, that's because your body's like warming up now. So at least that's what I was told in the military.
Maybe that.
Which I mean, that could be just
I don't
baloney,
know.
But yeah, I think it's probably true though, because they say if you're cold, go pee. You'll probably warm up some. But
never thought of it that way. Never thought of it like, well, I gotta go pee to keep my body warm.
Dude, when we were in boot camp, we were on our table 2 range, so that's where we do like our combat marksmanship. So we're in a flak and we're shooting at like targets closer up at like the 25-yard line and closer, and shooting moving targets and stuff like that. But it was so cold that day because it was like November and super windy, and I mean we're all just standing out there in the cold just shivering, and one guy was like, man, I'm so cold I can't even stand it. And I was like, dude, you might just want to pee on yourself to warm yourself up a little bit. And I just remember thinking, I was like, why would I ever say that? I just thought about that. Because even if you were warm for that split second, then you're cold.
Yeah,
you're covered in pee.
Yeah.
And you're going to get, cold from the liquid in the wind. So I don't know why I would say that. But it was just so cold, especially towards the end of boot camp, because we were getting into the winter. And like I remember during the Crucible, they took us. No, it wasn't the Crucible. It was like BWT or something. But either way, we were in the field, and they took us to these field showers, right? And the water was super warm, so it was like, it was amazing to be in there. Like, they had the heat all the way up in there. It was incredible.
Right.
But as soon as we all got done taking a shower, because it was like walk in, walk out, right? And we're in is our green T-shirts and our green shorts, right? And then flip-flops. And we come out of the shower, and we're just click, 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 and we're like shaking. Like, this sucks, and so we all huddled just together. Like, we all just...
Body heat.
Yeah, to try and keep warm. Oh my gosh. That's so stupid. It's weird what humans will do to stay warm.
I mean, it's scary to think over that. Your body knows what to do. Like, even if you don't, your body will learn, like, this, I got to do something. Like, your body knows how to keep going. Like, stay warm, stay cold, like, cool off, warm up.
The crazy thing is one thing your body won't do is it won't want to move. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Which is an ignorant response for your body to have, because it's like, hey, if I move, the blood's going to go, right?
But usually that means it's putting its blood
towards the vital organs, right? So it'll keep you alive.
Yeah, you just got to have something to find you.
Yeah, you're going to lose some stuff. But what we learned in EMT class is it's easier, like, so if a person dies, right? In a cold temperature, like, if they die of hypothermia, right? and you warm them back up, there's a chance that you can save their life. Because there's the saying, you're not dead unless you're warm and dead. Because it's easier to bring you back if your body's cold. Because the tissue doesn't die and decay or something. It has something to do with that. But that's what they told us, is like, if somebody's like hypothermic and you find them in like a, like in like a snow, like if they died from like avalanche or something, there's a good chance that you can revive them because they were in the cold. Their body was kept at a certain temperature. So I thought that was incredible.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, that's another fun fact for you.
Yeah, that one's free. All right.
That's a twofer. Since we missed the other one.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad that we're back to week for now. At least, it could change next week. Who knows? But as of now, it seems like we kind of got a little bit of a set schedule. At least for my days off and your days off, we're kind of lined up in unison. I've got the weekends off right now until somebody goes on vacation or
and it changes.
Yeah, but at least maybe a couple weeks in a row we can get one out for sure.
Yeah, definitely try.
So and we gotta. Oh, there goes the camera again. So I have to figure it out. It's probably just a setting that has it. So.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's probably just set for like 20 minutes. And once 20 minutes hits, it stops recording. I don't know. It's weird. So I'll just keep changing it back and forth. So
we're figuring it out, everybody. All right, that's what we're doing.
I will take 20-minute get up and hit the record button compared to just losing the file. At least I know that it saved that file. So it's a nice.
And like you said, it could be a setting.
Yeah, it's probably just it's probably for that reason. Instead of corrupting the whole data, that it's doing that too. Yeah. So you have each 20 minutes.
But who knows? We'll see. We'll figure it out. We're working on it. We're working on lots of stuff. We keep telling you we're working on it, and believe me, we are. You just don't get to see it yet.
By the end of next month, you guys will see a lot of it fold into place. Yeah. So that's all. As far as I'm not going to spoil anything, but by the end of next month, beginning of October, everything will make a lot more sense as far as what we're doing. It's just got to get here. So we're just going to keep rolling with what we got right now, and eventually it will be super awesome. I think William and I both are pretty excited to get that ball rolling. So, but yeah, like I said, at least it's recording. And you can ask William as far as when I got done. And I realized it didn't save it, and I was just pissed off. I was like, that's it. I'm not using the GoPros anymore. I don't care. And like that night, I was like sending him pictures of cameras that we could afford and go 50-50 on to where we could just not have this problem anymore. Because the GoPros are not really the best cameras for
what we're doing here. Yeah.
They're great if I'm outdoors and doing something.
Well, even like the bro down stuff, like they're good for that.
Right.
They're very portable and things of that nature, but
they're not when they do that. It really ruins a moment if it just corrupts 17 minutes worth of data. Yeah. So I might just invest in some new batteries for them, or I might just invest in like some 7s or 8s at some point.
That's what I was thinking too.
If we start doing more mobile stuff as far as the bro down.
Black Friday's coming up. And good deals, man.
Yeah, or Cyber Monday. I think Black Friday's actually canceled, didn't they? I thought they said that they might change it back.
So I guarantee you stores will still have the deals, but they'll all be online.
Right.
Because, Cyber Monday is kind of a thing of the past because now everything's online anyway.
Before even Black Friday, like the week of, they already got the deals on the website. It's like, this is our deals for this week. So it's like, it's not even a weekend sale anymore.
Yeah.
You can get it before even Thanksgiving, which I always thought that was the weirdest thing. It's like, everybody wants to be thankful on Thanksgiving, and then Friday, it's all hell breaks loose, and it's like fight to the death for TVs. I don't understand the...
I never went. All right, so I went twice now. So Krista wanted to go this past Black Friday because she goes every, I guess, Black Friday. But then I went when I was a little younger too with my dad one time, and we went and got a couple TVs.
Well, see, my mom and I would go, and it would be at my birthday presents. Because of the 6th December is my birthday. So what Mom would do is she's like, how much money you got? And, how much do you want to spend? I'm like, well, this is what I've got. She's like, well, let's go see if we can find you something. And I remember very frequently each year for Black Friday, we would go to Walmart. We wouldn't go at the rush of things, but we'd go in and look and see after. So every now and then, that was back when I had PlayStation 2 and stuff. So I would buy a PlayStation 2 game for like $5. And back then was a steal for me.
Yeah.
So I thought that was awesome.
That's a steal now.
Yeah. So I remember buying Dragon Quest, I want to say 7, which is not, some people know about, some people don't. But it's like a open world game where you roam around and you have to like level up and you can. It was honestly like before its time, I feel like, as far as the way the game worked. It was like a turn-based game.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I played it all the way through, and I don't know how many hours I spent. I still have it. It's still in the other room with the rest of my PlayStation 2 games. But that's what we would do. So I would buy the scraps, more or less. Just like I would go through and get blankets or controllers or games, whatever I could afford on Black Friday that was left.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know what I just remembered? So we did an episode of our favorite video games, and I want to make a correction. All right, there's another game that I need to mention because I love it to death, and it's so underrated. And I think the reason they didn't make a second one or anything is, one, because it undersold, and two, it had some licensing issues in there, and they even took it off Xbox Marketplace for a while because of it. But Ruse. You remember how often I used to play that game?
You used to play it all the time.
So talk about, all right, so it's a real-time strategy game, which are great games. I love real-time strategy. But it was all World War II based. It had a good story mode, and then playing with your friends online. It had, another bad thing about it was it had just bad connection over the internet. It was an Xbox 360 game, but I mean, I would play the death out of that game, and if they were to make a second one or anything, it was just so good, because the whole game basically was in the
It's
European
kind of like
theater.
Civ, right? It's kind of like Civilization. But
but real time, and it's not so much of like you're building a country as you're just building like a military unit itself, But it was, it was just such a good game. I
I remember anytime I got on, it would say that you were playing that game, and then you would hop on whatever we were playing. But if we were not on, that's what William was playing every time. I didn't even think about it until you just mentioned it. We're just coming up with all kinds of memories.
Dude, it was so good, and you could, I was just so, if you're one of our listeners that plays video games and you don't know about that video game, you need to look it up. All right, you can actually get it on Xbox Marketplace now. It's like $15 or $20. They put it back on there. But it's definitely worth checking out. It had great graphics for the time. It was...
I remember saying that, though, for a lot of games, and I go back and look play them, I'm like, this looks like crap.
Well, that's what I say at the time. Yeah. But even now, they still have pretty good graphics. Well, because I still get on there and I'll play it occasionally. It's not as fun as it was when I was younger, but it's still... It's a great game.
Yeah. There was a couple games after we made that I was like, wow, I should have added this one. Man, I should have added this one. But I've played so many games. It's like Dragon Quest. I played it like crazy. I just didn't put it on the list or Super Mario Sunshine. I think I talked about it at the very end there. I would buy a console specifically for Super Mario Sunshine. If they remade it or made a second one, I would buy it. If that was the only game that they sold for it, I would buy it. And there was a rumor going around that they were going to make a small GameCube, like they did the Super Nintendo. You know how they come out with that mini one that had all the games in it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said they were going to do one for that, and one of the games they announced was Super Mario Sunshine. I was like, I will buy it. Like, if that game is on there, I will buy it. But I don't know if that was true, or if it was just rumors, like, fan...
Yeah, just...
like, trying to get it going.
Get something started.
So, but yeah, I think that was the best Mario game. A lot of people didn't like it. I enjoyed the aspect of it. It was almost like an OCD game, because, you had to clean the worlds out. Like, you had the water gun pack on your back, and you had to use water to get rid of all the slime goo that was like evil. Like, it was like they were spawning monsters and stuff. So you had to clean these maps, and like once you cleaned it, you finished the world. And so like I guess it's an OCD thing. Like there's games now. It's like Minecraft. I mean, all Minecraft is making what you want to make. Like so, I think a lot of it's just like you do what you want to do and like clean it up. And I think cleaning in games is fun to me. I think just as an OCD thing. I don't know. It's just like a time waster, time killer. A lot of games on your phone are idle games. So you get on there, do something for a little bit to kill some time, and then it keeps going while you're not on. You come back and you get like rewards and stuff. I think that's kind of the vibe I got from it.
And see, and that's one thing I can't get into on, I guess games on phones, because so many games on your cell phone are like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not fun to me. Mm-hmm. I don't like that whole, like building a base and all this stuff and trying to keep up. It's just too much.
We were heavy into Clash of Clans. My dad still plays Clash of Clans as far as but we had a whole clan of pretty much everybody in Bowling Green we knew was in the clan. And that was back in high school, but my dad still plays it to this day. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they've added to it since then, but you build a base and you have to come back in an hour when something gets built. Some things take like 24 hours to build, so you got to wait the next day to get that.
And it would just take longer and longer as you progress in the game. I remember,
or you can spend real money to speed it up. So that was like their in-game. That's what started in-game currency.
Because people would spend the money.
Yeah,
and
I think that's what surprised them is we can charge 99 cents for this perk in this game, and they bought it. And it went from 99 cents to now we put a new skin in Call of Duty for $20. It's like people are just throwing money away. Maybe not now as much, but it was, the world was normal.
Fortnite ran with that.
Yeah.
And they got me with it,
Yeah, I mean, I bought seasons for just the skins and stuff at first, and I was like, why do I care what people see? If I can't play the game, why do I care what I look like? Because, I wasn't good at Fortnite. So
I hated Fortnite. And that's what made me realize, I was like, what am I doing?
I liked Fortnite at first when it didn't have the building aspect, really.
Yeah.
It was more or less people were just running around killing each other in the buildings they'd already had in the game.
Yeah. And
so it's almost like a PUBG vibe. So that was cool to me. It was just a cartoonized version of it. But then once they had the building aspect, grow, and people built these crazy towers.
Yeah, people just got way too good at it. Yeah. I was like, oh, jeez.
I didn't enjoy that part.
Oh. So, for many of you, right, that play video games, you're on a side, right? You have a specific side you sit on, right? Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, whatever. You're pro Xbox,
yes.
Mainly.
Yeah.
I have all three systems. I don't have a gaming PC. I'm sure my PC could run games, but I don't play Steam or anything. But I have all three systems. I grew up playing PlayStation, switched to Xbox when I was a teenager, and now I have all three. But I will say, for all the people that crap on PlayStation, they have the best free games of the month. Without a doubt. Free game of the month this month, August, right? The brand new remastered Call of Duty campaign. Alright, played some of that. Looks way better. Seriously. Mechanics are the same, of course. Mm-hmm. It's a lot harder than I remember. But
I beat it on Veteran. I don't know if I could go back and do it now. But
you know what the free game of the month this month is? PUBG. You know what Xbox is releasing for free games a month? Arcade games. What are you doing, Xbox? Fix yourself. I'm calling you out.
I think Xbox is pushing their free Game Pass or whatever. The Game Pass is like $5 a month. And then they come up with new games, it seems like every month. But they take off games too. Yeah. So it's almost like a Netflix for games.
Yeah, and you're rolling the dice too, because a game that you're playing on Games Pass could get taken off there.
Yeah. And so that's what I've been playing for streams, is I've been picking games off of there just to, like the Minecraft Dungeons is on there. I'd like to play it. I didn't buy it, but I want to play it through. But Game Pass is it's $10 a month for just Xbox Gold, and it's $15 a month for Xbox Gold plus the Game Pass. So that's what I've been doing, and I think that's what they're pushing, is they're just want to do that. And so the free games of the month or whatever is not really their thing anymore. And honestly, I don't know how many people really look for them. I still look every 1st and 16th, I think, is when the second one comes out of the month. Yeah. So I still look. I still keep up to date, because sometimes they will put a good one out that I wanted to play.
And you got to catch it.
Yeah, because then they're yours forever. You can delete them after you download them, and then you can re-download them at any point. They're yours. Yeah. Whereas the Game Pass, like you said, you're rolling the dice as far as if you play it for a while and you're still enjoying the game, and they take it off, and you're like, well, crap, now I got to buy it. So I think it's just their way. I think games with gold is just not a thing anymore, really. Yeah. It's more or less people play what they want to play anymore. That if you marketing wise, I remember us playing indie games all the time.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, man, this is such a good game. It was like $5 or something. We had fun playing it. But now, if it's not a AAA title and everybody has heard about it, like Fortnite, if Fortnite come out with a 2, like Fortnite 2, it would sell more than those indie games ever did, because they're just publicizing it more, they're pushing it more, and people buy what everybody's playing now. So I think that's what the issue is, and people don't really adventure out and try a new game anymore. They just play what everybody else is playing. It's just like the Call of Duty has turned into, every year there's a new one, and you just pick it up because that's what everybody's going to be playing. If you don't want to be behind, you got to buy whatever, or if you don't want to play by yourself. Yeah. Whereas you and I, we could play by ourselves all the time as far as some games like Fallout. Fallout is not it's a fan favorite game for a lot of people, but a lot of people has never played it because there's no multiplayer. No, I'm not interested.
And that's one thing I noticed with the Call of Duty games. Like some people will get a Call of Duty game, play the multiplayer all the time, and be like, I never played the first mission. Yeah, it's like what?
Which Call of Duty was it they took out the campaign?
It was 4, Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 4. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had zombies and then they had multiplayer, and that was it.
And that was an alright game, I will say, but...
Mm-hmm. But it just... Why would you take out what built your franchise? I mean, essentially, Call of Duty was never multiplayer at first. It was like... I mean, they had multiplayer, but that was not
what made not the game. Good.
Yeah. It was those Call of Duty 2 and 3 where you were in World War II and you were really fighting the Nazis and you were... going for it, like that. You had a lot of fun with it, and I don't remember how many times I played those missions over and over. Mm-hmm. That was just what the game was.
Yeah,
and then it went to.
Well, in Call of Duty 3, I still love that multiplayer. Mm-hmm. You had set specific classes, each had their own strength and weakness and special ability. It's kind of like how they do Fortnite, or not Fortnite, but kind of like Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch has classes and stuff.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that, That's the first game I got into multiplayer with was Call of Duty 3. And that was a good thing.
I remember us playing.
But now it's all like, I like custom stuff.
I think we hooked our PlayStations up at your house, didn't we? So we played like different screens, but against each other.
It was like a LAN.
Mm-hmm. LAN line or whatever. They call it LAN.
Yeah.
LAN line.
But, geez Louise.
We're pushing the time for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's podcast. Like I said, the camera cut in and out a couple times. That was just, we'll have to figure out what setting that is. This was the first run with it. We hadn't really tested it out, so that's on us. But I don't think it really... He kept trying to pause the video. I was like, nah, keep it running. They need to know. I mean, we're not professionals. We've mentioned that several times before. This is new to us, and we're just trying new things out. And I don't feel like that should be embarrassing to us. You don't know until you try it kind of thing. So I think it's fine. And I think we'll figure out the setting, whatever's causing it to cut out every 20 minutes. I think it's roughly 20 minutes. It seemed like it was pushing 20 minutes each. Or I guess 25.
It was about
20. But that's going to be it for this week.
Yeah.
So we'll try to be back next week. And I hope you guys are still enjoying the podcast. Let us know if we talked about anything you guys want to hear more about. Just any kind of feedback's great feedback.
Today was definitely kind of casual. So
yes. Yeah. It was kind of like just to catch up because we've worked all week. We haven't really talked at all this week. As soon as we got here, he's like, we haven't done it in a while. We haven't played Xbox in a while together. Because it's just...
Yeah, busy.
Yeah.
Busy. Work is killing both of us.
Well, see, I work early in the morning. You work later in the afternoon. So by the time you're home, you're tired. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting ready to go to bed and clean, go back to work the next day. So today is the first day we've actually sat down, done a podcast. And then we're going to do some stuff afterwards as far as getting some stuff taken care of for stuff you guys don't know yet. So,
yeah.
So thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you guys next week for sure, hopefully. Thanks for watching.